So are we all comfortable? I'm not really, but let us begin as we retro ups and downs Survivor Series 2012. Because of course it's all about the debut of The Shield. They turned up at the end of this pay-per-view and they caused a massive fuss. I mean, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns had been earmarked for a big old push ever since they did arrive in the WWE system. Actually, the best part about all this, when you do go back in time, is the general reaction. Because people were pumped that a bunch of new faces had just debuted on the main roster and done it in a powerful way, in the sense that they murked John Cena. Well, everybody else just wanted to talk about promos. And that was aimed more specifically at Roman and Seth, because the idea was, oh man, they're going to have to get better at these. But when it came to Ambrose, the general consensus was, actually, that dude is pretty good. And doesn't that just tie in? Despite the fact that during this era too, WWE would give up on a lot of new talent, they didn't with this trio, and look where we are in 2023. They are literally sat on top, not literally, two different companies. I mean, we didn't think that 10 years ago because we didn't even know what an AEW was. Speaking about All Elite Wrestling to WWE, Cody Rhodes was meant to be on this show, but he got really injured. Now, it all came after he took just a back body drop from Kane, but my word, he separated his shoulder, he tore his deltoid, he had a bunch of injuries, so he wasn't able to compete. So the next time you see somebody do a flippy dippy move and go, ha ha ha, botch, maybe don't do that and just go, phew, thank goodness they're okay. Unless they're not okay, if you say that, you'll be weird. WWE was also planning a DVD to celebrate their 50th anniversary. I don't think that ever did come out. And talking about stuff like DVDs, it was also this month when the WWE ended their deal with Silvervision. Now look, unless you're in the UK, you don't understand this, but when we were growing up, Silvervision was everything, and then WWE just killed it. Not gotten over it. Digital media was actually running wild in 2012, because do you know why The Miz is the babyface at Survivor Series? Because he had 2 movies coming out in 2013. The WWE decided to tie it all in. I don't know why I spat. It is also kind of timely as well, because there was also a lot of hoorah about the fact that CM Punk was tweeting, well, WWE isn't really supporting the fact that I'm on the Talking Dead show, and also not talking about the fact that I'm going to be involved in the Chicago Thanksgiving Day Parade. And more things change. So in front of just 8,500 people in Indiana, which once again kind of sums up business at the time, and 212,000 people on pay-per-view, let us take the finger of power and give the good bits an up, and the bad bits are down, parity, for Survivor Series 2012. I hate my life. So guess how WWE started this pay-per-view? With a match that hadn't been announced. That's how topsy-turvy things were. I mean, I think someone backstage just like, oh wait, it is Survivor Series, so we should do a traditional Survivor Series match. So they just wheeled out 2 teams. So we had Sin Cara, Tyson Kidd, Justin Gabriel, Brodus Clay, and flipping Rey Mysterio versus Tensai, the Primetime Players, and Primo and Epico. I mean, who put that together? Just to underline how badly the Brodus Clay character had gone too, and don't forget he was a dinosaur, only one person on the babyface team got eliminated. That's right, it was him. The thing is though, listen to who else was in this. Rey Mysterio, who here on Retro Ups and Downs continually proves how great he is, and Sin Cara. Now admittedly, he would fall down a lot, but when he got going, it was spectacular. You also had Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel, who were massively underrated talents. When they got into the meat and bones of this, I don't know what that is, it's pretty damn good. You also had Clay and Tensai, and WWE wanted to sell this as, oh my gosh, you got big men slapping man meat. Obviously 2012 was before we'd established big men slapping man meat. So what they do is do some slapping. Well, the meat ain't all that great. Mysterio and Sin Cara realized that, and they do these 2 incredible Asai moonsaults at the same time. When Tensai grabbed Rey, just went slam, 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 slam. It was like playing a newbie at WWE 2K23. Brodus then did the worst suplex you've ever seen onto Tensai, who landed right on his face. This is honestly what I was doing. When he ran at him, hit Tina the turnbuckle, and he got pinned. I was like, man, it sucks to be you. Tensai also helped because he busted out a senton. Well, he did it again. He just went senton, 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 senton. I'm like, is your controller broken, Tensai? Is that what's going on here? And after a while, Justin Gabriel figured it out, so he hit him with the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up, and he pinned him. Tyson Kidd then got rid of Titus O'Neil with this amazing over-the-top rope surprise roll-up. That looked really good. When Epico must have taken inspiration from Tensai, because he did the same damn thing. Because he just went back suplex, back suplex, back suplex, back suplex. I can't even say it. When Tyson was like, all right, I'll put you on the sharpshooter, and he tapped out. What an idiot. Mysterio then missed with the first 619 because some things never change when he hit Primo with the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. Three in one match. It didn't mean the last guy was Darren Young, and this poor schmo, he got hit with everybody's finishes, and then he got pinned for the 1, 2, 3. But look, this was entertaining. It was a fine opener. You'd never have to think about it again. Up. Which is when the following definitely happened. Oksana, wearing a wig, tried to beat up Caitlyn, but Caitlyn realized it was Oksana, removed her wig, and beat her up instead. When Eve Torres walked in, pretended she cared, but she clearly didn't, so Caitlyn punched her right in the face. The flub was that. It also meant it was time for Eve Torres versus Caitlyn for the Divas title, and this was something. But the best part is when Torres was winning and she stood on Caitlyn, started waving to the crowd like she was part of some parade. But we all know the deal here. We do go back to 2012 when WWE used to tell the women, you're not allowed to wrestle like men. It's genuinely one of the worst things they've ever said. We also made sure that Caitlyn looked like an idiot because Eve tripped her on the apron before she hit a neck breaker to break her neck, and she got the 1, 2, 3. The fans didn't care about this, but it's nobody's fault because it was designed for you not to care. When you're trying to fight that battle, well, sometimes you just have to accept your lot, and it does get it down. When we cut to Team Foley, they were in a right spot of bother. Oh no. This is because Kofi Kingston and The Miz had fallen out and they were arguing, and so was Kane and Daniel Bryan, as Randy Orton sat in the corner just seething. I mean, we should have seen this coming, because it's like telling the Batman, oh, would you like to go and have some pizza with the Joker? And after Foley had calmed everybody down, I was like, well, he did that in about 3.5 seconds. It can't have been that big of a deal. He then approached Randy, who had been quiet the entire time, and said, are you ready? And Orton just went, I hate you. Genuinely made me laugh. I miss Randy Orton. When I thought, we're going to get some proper wrestling. Whatever that means. But Cesaro came out as the US champion because he's still pretty brand new in WWE. Vince McMahon had clearly gone, oh my gosh, he's not from America. You should run the country down. So he's all like, oh man, Thanksgiving sucks and you're all fat and the economy is rubbish. Like, can you imagine? Get him out of that. Boo! How dare you talk about the economy? I don't think anybody cares. He was also taken on R-Truth though, but then once again, I was like, oh wait, this is 10 years ago when WWE just didn't give a flub about the secondary titles, so they do have a decent 6 minutes match. That's all I can tell you. Honestly, there's nothing else to report. They did some moves. R-Truth missed the axe kick. He got hit with the Sagat uppercut, hit with the neutralizer, 1, 2, 3. And if you do actually go and watch this pay-per-view and you want to just skip it, you probably could, and your life would be exactly the same. But look, they tried hard, so I shall give it an up. My word. The definition of pointless. And I suppose it was setting up what was next, because we went full-on sports entertainment. It's building up to the Survivor Series. AJ Lee and Vicky Guerrero had fallen out because AJ was sick and tired of Vicky going, ha, you're having an affair with John Cena, which actually wasn't true. Therefore, Lee thinks Vicky is a witch, or maybe a word that rhymes with witch, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, when out came Vicky Guerrero, using that voice that would summon cats, as AJ Lee started to show a bunch of Photoshop pictures on the big screen that kind of put Vicky Guerrero in some precarious situations. So we saw her, all this is true, having burritos with Ricardo Rodriguez. She was stood there with Jim Ross, and there was a bunch of like kissy lipstick marks, and she was dancing in a bedroom with Brodus Clay. And I watched this and I thought to myself, maybe I'd rather be dead. I mean, no wonder I deleted this from my brain. It got even more silly, because Lee was like, oh, that's right, we can't hit each other, because the board of directors have said we can't. What? From nowhere, Tamina, no one is meaner, or something appeared. And she walloped and took out AJ Lee, and the fans didn't make any noise. Because of course they didn't. They'd just seen Photoshop pictures. It really is bad though. It's not done well. And while Vicky and AJ knew their way around a microphone, story is just absolute baloney. To the point I'm now trying to wipe off my skin. It's getting it down. We also got a Paul Heyman interview because of course it was going to be CM Punk versus John Cena versus Ryback in the main event. He was just like, CM Punk has held that belt for a long time. It was when he had it for like 400 plus days. And if you think he's losing, you are totally wrong. When WWE lost the damn plot. Now stick with me, I shall try and explain this as best I can. For it was Sheamus versus The Big Show for the World Heavyweight Championship, and because The Big Show is much bigger than the Irishman, he just slapped him around for a while until his white skin turned a pale of red. A shade of red. I'm an idiot. Sheamus also got thrown into the ring post, so he was like, ow on my shoulder. But at one point, The Big Show climbed up on the ropes, Sheamus got underneath him in the crotch area and gave him this electric chair, and all of a sudden the fans did come unglued. That's pretty good. It also happened again when we got to the near falls because Sheamus picked up the Big Show and gave him a white noise for a 1-2-ooh, and I tell you, that did look damn impressive. He obviously was going to follow this up with a bro kick when that dick Big Show pulled the referee in the way. And I don't know what happened here. Here's where it gets really silly Billy. Because even though wrestling referees get taken out all the time, all of a sudden everybody was so concerned. Sheamus was concerned, officials were concerned, other referees were concerned. They just made this circle of life and they were like, please be okay. In the meantime though, Show appeared behind Sheamus. He hit him with a knockout punch and he pinned him. And because there was another random ref in the ring, he just fell down and went 1, 2, 3. This would be like a doctor going to you, look, I'll be back in 1 second, when another doctor walks in and goes, I'm so sorry, you're definitely ill. Who are you? We then even acted like the Big Show had become champion when another referee went to Justin Roberts, the announcer, and he went, oh, nope, we changed our minds. We are disqualifying the Big Show because he did indeed attack a referee. So even though we ignore this in 99.9% of all of the matches, fuck you. Sheamus then destroyed the Big Show with a chair because I don't think we'd done enough. This was an absolute roller coaster. It's so strange. And it doesn't make any sense. And by the end of it, I was questioning whether I was real or not. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. I don't know what anybody was thinking other than, well, we don't want anyone to lose. That's why it's getting her down. It was then Survivor Series match number 2 after this. Team Ziggler versus Team Foley. So that was Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio, Wade Barrett, David Untunga, and Damian Sandow taking on The Miz, Daniel Bryan, Kane, Randy Orton. Because nothing on this show could be straightforward. All of a sudden Sandow is like, nah, I don't want anything to do with this, and he starts to leave. When Kane grabs him, throws him in the ring, Daniel Bryan kicked him in the head, Kane gave him the choke slam, 1, 2, 3. I mean, he was gone like he was nothing. Poor man. Kane and Daniel then start arguing instantly because that was the whole gimmick. When Ziggler is like, all right, and he snuck up behind Kane, he gives him the zigzag, and he's gone too. My first thought was, well, we definitely wouldn't have done that in 1997. Dolph then reminded everybody that he is one of the best sellers in the game because Kofi Kingston gives him this flip, and he somehow rotates 792 times before he lands on his face when Bryan is back in, and he locks in the yes lock onto David Otunga, who taps out. Although, actually, we call it the no lock. Wrestling is dumb. Baron then got bored, so he absolutely wrecked Kofi with his awesome boss man slam and hit the bull hammer elbow to get the 1, 2, 3. When, I can't believe this, Daniel Bryan locked in the yes lock / no lock onto Alberto Del Rio, who reversed it into the armbar, and Daniel Bryan taps out. What? Now this is why I enjoy the fact that these days we do treat Bryan Danielson like a warrior, because he should be protected. And ironically, I was all like, no. To the point, I'm giving this very specific segment a down. We then pretended like something bad was going to happen because none of the remaining people actually liked each other. When The Miz was like, well, I haven't done anything. So he got in there and he hit the skull-crushing finale onto Wade Barrett and he beat him. I was like, man, I didn't see that coming. Miz then wanted to be Brodus Clay, so he too went right into Tina the Turnbuckle when Del Rio just gave him an enziguri to the back of the head and he pinned him too. It's like he won with an enziguri. We are not in Kansas anymore, Toho. This is, of course, when Mick Foley and Ricardo Rodriguez started fighting, and this just blew my mind. Mostly because I was like, you would have told me this was going to happen after you got thrown off the Hell in a Cell, mankind. Well, I don't think I'd believed it. There was then this great reversal spot between Randy Orton and Alberto, who went for the armbar, but instead got absolutely wrecked with the RKO, meaning our last two guys were the man who hears voices in his head and Dolph Ziggler, and I said, you're damn right. They also put on a mini clinic and hit each other so hard Orton was bleeding from the mouth, and when Ziggler hit the zigzag for the 1-2-ooh, I was totally into it. Then I also don't remember who the hell won this. I haven't gone back to watch Survivor Series 2012, and after Randy had hit the draping DDT, he was gonna go for the RKO, but instead decided to give Dolph the punt. Commentators just gave the finish away because JBL was like, what's he doing? He's taking so long, which was true because Ziggler got back to his feet. He hit the kick that was super and he got the 1, 2, 3. Honestly, that was so well done. Plus it makes you feel warm and fuzzy in your tum-tum. One of these few moments, Dolphy boy actually got his. So this is just a really fun Survivor Series match, so I am going to give it an up, but do not watch it if you don't want to hear the announced team reminding you that Kofi Kingston just wants to have fun about 978 times. Yes, I get it. He likes Cyndi Lauper. WWE then promoted Tout, so I was on the floor laughing. And this is also when we got the last of these, well, what does The Rock think about Survivor Series? Let's check out his Twitter. Why would I care what The Rock thinks about the Survivor Series? I'm still confused by this. But also, it was main event time for the WWE title. John Cena versus Ryback versus CM Punk. That's fine. It is still really weird though, because even though Ryback was super over in 2012, this just didn't click. If you kind of listen to the fans, they just wanted to see CM Punk versus John Cena. Also, the writing was definitely on the wall here. Mr. Feed Me More was heading in the wrong direction. Don't tell him though, he'll get mad. You also get to watch everything between Ryback and Punk and go, tee, is something bad gonna happen because of podcasts? Although we did put him over like a monster here. At one point, John Cena slammed him, and Ryback popped right back up. He also hurls both guys over the top rope when Cena and Punk are like, well, we're gonna have to work together to get rid of this guy. And they actually do that. They throw him through the announce table. It means you do get this face-off, and that's when the crowd does get a little bit more excited. And also, because this is a main event after WrestleMania 17, all of a sudden Punk hit the GTS, John Cena kicks out. So John Cena hits the AA, and CM Punk kicks out. And you sit there going, what is even the point of having a finish? It's also when the breakup started, and I don't mean relationships, there weren't two people in the crowd going, I can't believe you don't love me anymore. Because Cena goes to the STF, but Ryback is back, so he stops that. And then he goes for a shell shock on Punk, but John Cena stops that, which annoys Ryback, so he just keeps hitting shell shocked until he's bored of hitting shell shocked. I know what I'm talking about. The whole point, though, is that he has massacred everyone, meaning he probably is going to win. When three masked men come through the crowd, they get into the squared circle, they just create chaos. I mean, not only do they take out Cena, but they grab Ryback and throw him to another table. Poor guy. And of course, it is the Shield. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. And in the fracas, Punk's like, well, John Cena is dead, and he pins him 1, 2, 3. And don't forget, too, the reason we did do this is because originally the Shield were meant to protect Punk. They were going to be the reason he held on to his title before we went in a very different direction. But as far as debuts go, you can't fault it. To the point, I don't understand why WWE hasn't done it again. I mean, it's been 11 years. What's old is new again, but I'm giving it an up. Knowing what we do know now made me feel all excited in my Tootsie Toes. And I shall leave you with the Wrestling Observer star ratings so you can get mad about those, because the opening tag match got 3 stars. Eve versus Kate got 1 star. Cesaro versus R-Truth got 1.5 stars. Sheamus versus Big Show got 2.5 stars. The second Survivor Series match got 3.5 stars. The main event got what is probably a very fair 3 stars. And overall, I will give Survivor Series 2012 an up, but it probably doesn't deserve it, because without those 2 Survivor Series matches, everything else is actually skippable. However, just really like seeing Rey Mysterio. That's the truth. What a legend. Now, of course, please do leave a comment below and let us know what you think about Survivor Series 2012 and other suggestions for retro ups and downs. There'll also be a retro ups and downs on the screen, so kick that to continue your retro journey. And if you like the video, you share the video, you subscribe, go to WhatCulture.com, follow us on social media, but ultimately, make sure we keep the past alive by talking about it in the future and just wasting all of our times. Agreed? I agree. Goodbye.